Ready for day 2 of the Level Up Your Reader's Achievement in Just 5 Days challenge. I'm so glad you're here. Hello, say hi. Let me know where you're from. Do you teach your own child? Do you have a classroom? What grade do you teach? I'm so excited to be here. This is the biggest event of the year because we are sharing just how powerful one activity switch it can be. So I want to hear from you guys. Where are you coming from? And also, if you've been participating, what are your successes? We're going live for 5 days in a row to show how just one activity can unlock so much for our beginning or struggling readers of any age. And so I don't want you to miss out. If you haven't been participating, no worries, we'll catch you up so you can get started even today. So we've got Jennifer here, and Kylie, and Lori, and Teresa, and Deb. Thank you all for saying hello. It's going to be a great show today because Switch It just does so much, and you guys are experiencing it. Thank you for going along this journey with us so that we can hear your successes and encourage one another. So, who is ready to get going? Get started with this shindig. Okay, so let's get started. First things first, Switch It is the guest of honor this week. It is so powerful, but I want you to know it is just one element in the complete Reading Simplified lesson. We are here at Reading Simplified focusing on streamlining reading instruction and accelerating students' reading achievement. And we do that in a lot of different ways. One of them is by creating a very simple, predictable routine of a lesson plan. It's just got 3 components. And you can see it's mostly rereading for fluency, some word work activities, and guided oral reading of new text. That works for beginners, works for struggling readers, anyone who's developing in their reading or not yet fluent. And so Switch It is a really powerful part of that, but it's just one piece. So even though I'm excited for you to see the power of Switch It, I don't want you to leave this week thinking that that's all there is. There's more efficiencies with the Reading Simplified system. So where are we headed today? First, I think we should share your results, and I want you to start typing. What are some of the things you've noticed? Good or bad, that's all fine. So we're going to share some things that I saw in the comments in our Facebook group and on the daily post about how Switch It went. Then we're going to pick our winner from yesterday's daily post. And then we'll talk about how to participate in this challenge if you are new or need a reminder. Then we'll have our teaching tip of the day, paired contrasts. And then we'll get to the big event, watching the video of our star student. Yesterday we saw our star student in day 1 try Switch It for the very first time. Did he get better? Let's see how he gets better, if he gets better today. We'll see if there's some questions, and we'll draw a winner from today's comments. In fact, right now, if you are joining in and encouraging one another or asking questions, you will be entered into the drawing, and we'll pick a winner, and I will spin for the prize. So all that's coming up. Your successes, let's talk about those first, shall we? Cindy, she said she worked with her 8-year-old today who has been struggling bad with letter sounds and connecting words. We worked through the first set of words, and he actually did way better than I anticipated. And he seemed to enjoy it. How many of you are writing? That is huge for many of our readers, is it not? So thank you, Cindy. And Alka said paired contrasts are today's teaching tip. That's an interesting concept. She's been working on word families like at and an. How many of you can relate to that? Have you been in a program where it's going to just kind of go mat, fat, cat, sat, pat? So it'll be interesting to see what Alka is going to experience as she tests out a different approach. And Jillian says, I was so excited to try Switch It with my group of 5-year-olds. I used the letters S, A, and etc., and even added in an SH to stretch it. They were very eager and were able to identify the sound that needed to be used. The majority were able to identify the position, but 2 of them weren't sure. However, they figured it out in a few minutes. This is huge. Their brain is being reorganized. Information about how sounds and symbols line up, phonemes and graphemes, it's starting to get more deeply understood and processed better. We had a few others, many others, but this is just a couple that I snagged. Catherine pointed out her student knew 25 letter sounds, so she started with the 4 sound level. What surprised me was how quickly he caught on, woohoo, especially that he could initially not segment CV four sound words at all. So that is really cool, is it not? She was testing him at a little higher level, which is a sneak peek to something that's coming later this week. And Nisa used a word list 13A, also 14 four sound words. And she was surprised on how well her student did with D and T, because that's been an area of confusion. This maps on perfectly with today's teaching tips. She's helping them contrast those two things that have been tricky, and in the study of one and two, one as it compares to the other, the learning is unlocked. And finally, Stacy tried it with her tutoring student. He quickly caught on that you change one sound by connecting the sound and the physical movement of the sound card. So the physical part was important for him, and that she also found that it was fun. So thank you all for sharing. And if I didn't get to yours, I hopefully maybe will find out more about your successes some other time. I know we're hearing from the comments today a lot. Priscilla said her kindergartners liked working with CVC and not just two-letter blends. Interesting. And Susan tried it with several different grade levels, and they really helped them segment the sounds that they were struggling with. Sweet. And I like what Kirsten's already kind of getting ahead here. She thinks that paired contrast will help students think actively about the phonemes rather than simply memorizing, or maybe, following a pattern. Mat, cat, fat, sat. You can do that without looking at the text. So if you have some challenges with Switch It, don't be afraid. I mean, we have so much success, but that doesn't mean that we're not interested in helping you. So that's what the Facebook group is for, and we'll show you how to get there if you're not already in that group. Shall we pick a winner? This is from yesterday's Facebook post. What do you think? Who wants to see who won? It's no small prize either. The prize, actually, I should show you this. This prize that this person is going to get is from the Literacy Hill. She's got a huge collection of ABC resources, and it's not just learning the alphabet, it's how to put the beginning parts of the reading process together. I wasn't able to find it, but I got the second night's award ready. But so this person's going to win the Literacy Hills ABC kit, and so make sure that you check out for your Facebook Messenger so Greg can reach out to you and get your email so we can email this huge pack. It's a really big thing. So let me show you who the winner is. Okay, Stacy Schwartz, or Swartz, I'm not sure how to pronounce that. Stacy, congratulations. Stacy is going to get the ABC kit, a giant kit from the Literacy Hill, which she used to be named Tiny Steps Make Big Strides. And her approach is very much in alignment with what we do here at Reading Simplified, as are all of our prizes for this week. So congrats to Stacy. As Deanna says, yay! And moving right along. Just briefly, I'm going to go through this fast, okay? Because many of you are really clear about what we're doing, but if you're brand new, I want to make sure that you don't miss out. So Greg, help me drop this link in the chat. This is how you sign up for the full experience of the Level Up Your Readers Achievement Challenge. Make sure you go to readingsimplified.com/level-up-offer. Every day we'll send you the teaching tip in the email really early, and we'll also send you the link to the Facebook post where you can show your homework and be entered into the drawing. The other thing you get when you sign up is you get access to our Facebook group. And so watch through your email, click over to go to the Facebook group. And then when you're in the Facebook group, you can get some of the goodies that are just for you in participating in this challenge. Go to the guide section of the Facebook group. and there download the Switch It packet, the Switch It guide. This will give you a plan for how to get started. And especially print out the letter sound cards, and don't have to do it fancy, but cut them up, get them prepped for at least one student, and go ahead and try out Switch It as we recommend in this guide. And also you can see us do it throughout the challenge. Then go ahead and pick one student, maybe one small group, and test out Switch It with them for the rest of this week. And then go ahead and comment in the Facebook post. This is today's day 2's. To report on your homework, and the email and the post will tell you what your homework is. Today it was just what list are you going to start with, maybe how it went. So are there any questions about the logistics? Any more praise or excitement or questions before we move on to our today's teaching tip? Dana says her son did great with Switch It. Awesome. And Greg popped into the chat the link to join, so make sure you do that if you haven't joined yet, so you get the full experience. And Julie says Switch It's working nicely. Okay. So part of the goal of this challenge is to quickly get you some PD that's very actionable. It will be based on research, but also show you how to put it into play tomorrow. And we're going to try to keep this at 30 minutes. Our teaching tip for today is the power of paired contrasts. And that's what I want you to notice about the Switch It word lists. They are different from many reading programs that would have you just change mat to cat to fat to sat to rat. What's going on in the child's brain when they're doing that? Possibly they're figuring out that it's SAT, SAT, M-A-T, at, possibly they're doing that. But it's also highly likely, particularly if they're not that great with phonemic awareness, which is the key to unlock how our code works. If they're not great at it, it's possible that they're just maybe rhyming, and they're not even looking at the letters, and it's at, k, at, and they don't get that at is at. Their brain has turned off to the information, the print information right in front of them. And it turned off because of the activity. We're not priming for learning in that environment. We know that when you have to compare and contrast things, you can learn them more easily. So not only is the at, sat, cat, fat, rat a problem, it's also a problem if you spend a week or 2 weeks or a month in short A. Because what happens when they read a new word like pit? They're going to say pat because they have been indoctrinated into thinking that the written code is a representation of things that say ah. So from the beginning, it's really important for us to challenge our students to see differences at the short vowel level, at the initial consonant level, at the ending consonant level, and all the consonants in between. So you'll see that in our Switch It word list. We'll change every position in the word, but we particularly put more energy into the vowels because those are the tricky parts, and we don't want them to just think everything is ah or everything is eh. So if you can adjust your reading program by adding in Switch It, and then also adding more opportunities to interleave practice by not just going through one thing all the time, but go eh. It's a little quiz. The brain has to stay alert. This kind of makes intuitive sense. But if you don't, but if you want to read some more about these ideas of contrast and interleaving, not always the same thing, you might like this book, Make It Stick. It's not about reading per se, but it's about the science of learning, which is pretty apt. So check that out by those folks, a journalist and 2 researchers who are experts in this field. So what do you think about the whole paired contrast thing? I see a lot of encouragement here and coaching from our pros. Thank you, thank you. What do you think about paired contrast? Is it different from what you've been doing? Kylie says it makes sense. Rosie says makes so much sense. Natasha's excited to learn more about it. And actually the way you'll learn the most about it is by using our switch it word lists, and then it'll unlock for you when you see your kids struggle, that will teach you what is the sticking point, and it will coach you on how to help them, and it'll get you better instructional match. Cora says, I love it. It worked great with my kinders today. Sweet. Okay. Thank you guys. Now let's talk about our star student. How many of you, give me a sign if you saw the video from yesterday or the replay. We had trouble with the replay. I apologize. It was fine at the live, but if you didn't see a good replay after about halfway through yesterday's, I just loaded an accurate replay. So that's there in the Facebook group, and the original, or not the original, but a replay on YouTube is also good. So apologize about that. But if you saw that video and the sound and the streaming video were lined up, then maybe you could let folks know what was his struggle. When I tested him originally, he could not segment a 3-sound word. He could not come up with s, he couldn't even come up with a s. He only knew those letters. Check those letters out. V, K, H, very unusual. He didn't even know some of the letters in his own name. He's in kindergarten, November, which is like the third month of his first year in school. And then look at all the things I threw at him on day 1. I threw 2 short vowels. Does that ring a bell? I wasn't just wanting him to learn that is all that there is in this world. An absolute beginner, maybe a 3-year-old or 4-year-old who's never been exposed to the code, it could be fine just to do briefly, but you just want to move quickly to more than one vowel. I knew he, as a kindergartner, had been exposed to and and it wouldn't be too much of a lift. Okay, so Michelle's going to watch the new version. Great. So we threw all those things at him. What do you think he'll be able to do today? Also, can you remind folks who didn't see it what he gained across the course of the 8 minutes? And by the way, I should have backed up. If you don't even know what we're talking about one student who did just switch it for 5 days in a row. Again, like the top of the video, I'm not saying that that's all that you need, but that is just a little experiment to demonstrate the power of switch it. And to reiterate the main point from yesterday, most reading programs have you do everything in isolation. So much separate instruction, thinking that all the sub-skills have to be taught first before you can get to reading. But you don't have to teach 15 minutes of phonological awareness and much later 15 minutes of phonemic awareness and letter names and then letter sounds and then handwriting and then decoding and encoding. But you can do a lot of these things simultaneously with word work activities like we use here at Reading Simplified, and Switch It is an exemplar. So we're knocking out a lot with this activity. So he's starting to make sense of the code for the first time. Carla started saying sounds instead of letter names. That is awesome. It's really a big deal. That is going to be how the child unlocks the code. And, or maybe you were talking about the STAR student. That's probably right. Thank you for putting that out. And Lauren's pointing out that this child gained a lot of confidence and skill in segmentation. At first it was like, you gotta be kidding me, lady. And then he got better and better. I was still helping him a lot, but he made a lot of growth. And he was getting better to figuring out how the code matches speech. Excellent. Yeah, uh-oh, Margaret said that she talked to a kindergarten teacher today and they haven't even started talking about letters yet. I don't have a sound effect that it's like wah wah, but I don't like that. Kids can handle it in kindergarten. We don't have to shove it down their face, but we can do it in a fun way, like this little boy. He was not unhappy, was he? When you're there supporting them and it's in the context of real words and they're successful, it's gratifying. Okay, so let's watch day 2 of our STAR student, see how he is advancing in his letter sound knowledge, advancing in his phonemic segmentation, phonemic manipulation, concept of the alphabetic principle. So I would love to have you guys note what you see that seems to be better about day 2 for our star student trying switch it. Word is going to be mom. Can you say it? Mom. Mom is watching. Okay, so let's listen for that first sound that you hear in mom.
W.
Well, it's
M.
yes. And what sound comes out of your mouth? That's it. Which one of these is There's 2 of them. It's kind of silly. I tricked you, huh? Okay, you got the for mom. Now we're going to listen for that next sound here in mom. Oh, wow. That was much faster than yesterday. Very exciting. Okay, so mom. What sound by itself? And what do we have? What is it? What sound though, all by itself? That's right, not a letter name. Okay, you built the word mom. Let's check each sound individually. Ah. And the word is?
Mom.
That is very exciting. Let's switch the word mom to mop. I have mom, and I need mop. Very good. We're getting rid of the Let's figure out what that sound is. He's getting the sound. Very good. Which one is p? Wow, you're flying now. What's this first sound? Ah. Do you notice my mouth looks like a circle? Ah, that's right. Mop. That's what do we have? Mop. Very good. Let's check it one more time. And the word is?
Mop.
Okay. So let's switch it to, you're going to need some other letters. Let's switch it to map. We used this one yesterday. I use a map. You have mop. Very good. Get rid of the ah. Okay. So what needs to go there? Let's first figure out the sound. Ah. That's right. You're nailing it. Tell me which one is ah. Wow. We always have that short vowel and it's red. It's in the middle. And this one says ah, though we got rid of the ah, and this one says ah. And you made the word map. Can you tell me the sounds in map? You're doing it. Say it. Go ahead. It's the word map. What do you hear in the middle? Ah is what I hear. You got map. Very good. Let's check it one more time since I didn't help you. And don't look at me. Yeah, there, because I want you to really. Oh, that was flying. And we need mat. Oh, I like how you stay there. Ah. Okay, so you got rid of the pup in mat, but we're using mat. Oh, you're hearing it. Very nice. Which one is t? Very good. You know what to do next? And the word is?
Mat.
Right. Let's switch this from mat to cat. Do you have a cat? Me either. Get rid of the What sound goes there? In cat? K. Which one is k? Very good. Say the sound by itself. Very good. I want to switch that vowel again, like I talked about with the paired contrast. So this is cat. Can you switch it to cot? Like I sleep on a cot. Have you ever heard of a cot? That's right. Get rid of the ah, the ah. And what sound goes in the middle? You got the k, and we're going to build the word cot. Ah, that's right. Which is ah? Close. The word is cot. Yes, let's go back to the beginning and check it. No. Oh, that's it. That's right. Cot. Let's look at it and say those sounds. Look here, right here. Cot. Yes, very nice. Okay, so here's me picking up some new sounds for him that he did not know before. Let's just move this out of the way, and we'll make the word. How about the word sit? Today I will sit. Okay? Wow, that was fast. All right. You've got two of the most important ones. But you've just got we need sit. What sound? Let's before you. That was great. He segmented that. Very nice. So tell me the sounds of sit. You're right. Over here's to. What's this one? Let's stretch out sit. Say it with me slowly. Now you stretch out sit. Sit. Good. Now let's check each sound. And the word is?
Sit.
Sit. Very nice. And now let's change it to pit. Like the peach has a pit. What sound are you going to move first? What sound goes there to make pit? Nice. Check the sounds. Now it's the word pit, okay? Separate it. That's right. How about we switch this to fit? That eraser fits on the top. Which sound are we going to take away? He's got that. Which sound goes here in fit? Which one is? Oh, you're smart. Okay, fit. Let's take that and switch it into fat. Like I cut the fat off the meat. Fat. Which sound are we going to switch? We have fit. Okay, what sound goes there in fat? You're right, there is a t, but what's the middle sound in fat? Ah. Which one is ah? Tell me the sounds. Hey everybody, I'm sorry about that. We are having some hardcore tech problems this week for this level up. So we are now in, can you read that in mirror image? We are now in part 2 of day 2. The video just crashed on me and my software wouldn't work, and then Facebook wouldn't work on my computer. So now I'm here with you on my phone. And I'll see if I can switch. I don't know if I can figure out how to switch. I don't use the phone too much. So the good news is we were mostly finished with the content, but I wanted to be sure to see if you had core questions like how to get over the hump. So thank you, Sue and Diana and Robin and Casey for being loyal and trying to find us, and Cindy. Thanks, you guys. So what questions do you have? And let me see if I can, yeah, here we go. This is our prize for tomorrow. So if you post in the Facebook group, you'll have an opportunity to get Whole Phonics brand new Off We Go series. And these are really cute. Actually, I have them here. I will show you. I've recommended Whole Phonics before. And these actually are all short A. So just, it's kind of ironic that I picked this for today, but so you want to mix these up with other things. But it's a clever idea. They're teaching all the consonants with short A. It's just like pre-reading ideas. So there's very few things on a page in terms of text. They have diverse characters, and there's a little thing that you introduce at the beginning to make the story make sense, because there's so few words that it's just kind of going to make more sense knowing the context and knowing and seeing the pictures. So Michelle, thanks. She says, yay, I'm back. Lots of tech problems this week. Did you notice in the video, a lot of you were commenting about it with the star student, that he was getting much better at segmenting those sounds, right? He could separate them pretty easily, including that medial vowel. That's the hard thing. And so guess what do you think I'll do with him next week? Rather tomorrow. So he might be able to go to 4 sounds tomorrow. What do you think? Nancy, what grade level are you working with? If you're working with teenagers or adults, I recommend the text by Forward with Phonics. They come out of the UK, but now they have some American versions, depending on where you're from. Nancy, this is such a big deal. I'm really glad you're pointing this out. He was really getting into the medial sounds. That's huge. It means he's also on his way to understanding the alphabetic principle and doing pretty well at it, that our written language is a code for sounds. This is hard. It's not natural. We need to reveal it to students, and this activity is a great way to do that. Also, did you notice how many vowels we're on now? He did A and O the first day, and I added I. How many of your reading programs will give you 3 short vowels in 2 days? Now, as some of you pointed out, sure, it's a little easier to get that accomplished in a one-on-one setting. You might not be able to go at that exact same pace with a small group, but certainly in a small group, you can do it in 2, 3, or 4 days, or 5 days instead of 5 weeks or 5 months. So that's one thing that I want you to keep in mind when you think about that boy. He has all the symptoms of dyslexia up until this experience. So don't think that he's, like a special case. It's quite feasible to see this kind of progress. Now, some kids maybe lack as much focus, and so they won't. I'm not saying that every kid's going to be able to get 3 short vowels in 2 days, but just think about maybe if we raise the bar, we can accomplish more than we thought is possible. Oh, Rima is here. She is able to see that she won. Fun. Okay, so let us know how you're doing with Switch It. Maybe you haven't had a chance to do it yet. Go ahead and try it tomorrow. If you don't have any students underfoot, try it with a neighbor or a family member that's already a reader, because you'll still learn some things about how to do the activity that will prepare you when you get near your students again. And be sure to sign up if you haven't already signed up, so you can get the emails and you can get the teaching tip early in the morning, and then also get into our Facebook group, get the goodies like the Switch It guide, and then post your comments on the Facebook posts. Remember, we're not just, let me show you one more thing, probably the ending slide. We're not just giving away daily prizes, we're gonna give away a prize after Friday. So if somebody posts 5 days in a row with their comments, just a simple response to our daily post, they'll be able to win the massive prize. I'm excited to show you guys. The grand prize will be the Literacy Hills. It's not actually going to be the first ABC kit. It'll be the reading and writing kit, which is even bigger and more awesome. It's going to be the Off We Go books from Whole Phonics. It's going to be the Phonics books, sound readers, card games, Crazy Longs, and also a big pack of goodies from us here at Reading Simplified. So that's going to be awesome. Lynn said her grandson struggled a bit. He is almost 5. Okay, some struggle is fine. Actually, even a lot of struggle is fine as long as they don't get frustrated. If you can help them with each step, then that's great. If the child is not able to hear the phonemes and kind of cover everything up and elongate and exaggerate, what do you hear here in Matt? And try to get them to maybe copy you. Those are some of the initial things we need to get over. Like, get them to hear those sounds as they look at them. And then second, okay, now you know it's which of these is And if they make a mistake identifying it, that's fine. Then just tell them this is So I hope those things will help. And there's also the giving feedback suggestions in the Switch It guide that are very helpful. So maybe that would help your grandson too, Lynn, or help you to help him. Jennifer says her student has ADD, ADHD, can't sit still, but he loved this game and stayed with me through the whole list. Wow, that's awesome. And you might even just cut that list in half so that he is excited when you finish, and he's like, feels like you've taken something away from him, so he's always anticipating it the next day. When we get started with this, you're learning it, and also you saw my example. I went for 8 minutes. It's kind of long. I like to keep it to 5. So sometimes it's just 5 or 6 words. And for real beginners, it might be as few as 3 or 4. Okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I think we should call it a night. I've been trying to keep these short, and I'm really honored that you hung here with me. Keep asking questions, keep sharing your suggestions inside the Facebook group. We're going to make it, and we're going to see more and more progress from our STAR student and from you all. I can't wait.